Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another video. I know that a lot of people aren't interested in videos like this, especially since I did get a comment from the last video from one person saying that he is more interested in vlog type of videos rather than just me commentating and showing some clips. It makes total sense that you will want to see more content like that because obviously it is more interesting. However, I think that is the one real reason I give mad respect to a lot of these YouTubers that are vlogging. To have the courage to hold a camera in front of tens, hundreds, and even thousands of people, it's pretty nerve-wracking, and I have to tell you that I am not ready for that. So I'm sorry if you're expecting that type of content. I'm just not ready. I don't know if I'll ever be ready unless I become like a full-time YouTuber. I know that last video was a little dull due to the fact that I got COVID. However, this is week 2 and I do have some more interesting things that I did. Hope you guys stay tuned and let's get into week 2 of my trip. The first half of the week, we were back in Seoul. The big first thing that we did was getting a physical, it's called 건강검진. In Korea, I'm actually 30, and that's actually the age people start getting their checkups, some thorough checkups. Knowing that it is much cheaper in Korea to get these scans, to get these tests, I just had to get it with my wife. We obviously did all the basics like blood test, we did some ultrasound on certain spots, but the big 4 tests that I did separately was the MRI, the MRA, the endoscopy, I can't pronounce it, and also the colonoscopy. So those are the 4 that was included in my package, and the package costed me 750,000 won. In USD, it was around 500-600 bucks. Which is actually really cheap, like extremely cheap. All the tests, including the basic ones, were all done in 2-3 hours. So we got there around at 2, we came out at 5 or 5:30, something like that. If you compare the average price of each of these tests, so it looks like in the USA, the average MRI cost is $375 to $2,850. I don't know if this is without insurance because my cost in Korea was without insurance. I don't have insurance there. Some places say that it can even be higher without insurance. It could go up to 5,000. But obviously, if you do some searching, I'm pretty sure there will be some places that will be cheaper. So I'm going to go with that 375 to 2,850. Let's see the MRA cost. It tells me that it's around 430 to 3,850. And then the endoscopy. Really can't pronounce that. Tells me that it's around 2,750. That's the average, but it could go up to 4,800. And finally, the colonoscopy. Again, around 2,750, which could go up to 4,800. If you put all of those tests together, even going with the lowest price possible that I saw, way over $1,000. And obviously, if you go with the higher end, it could go up to over 10,000. If you go to the middle, you're at least expected to pay $5,000 out of your pocket. But me, for all those 4 tests, it only cost around 500-600 bucks. Even if you think of it 1-to-1, it will be 750 USD, which is so much cheaper than America. There's a saying that a lot of people, they go to Korea just to do these tests because it's cheaper. Really, the cost itself could cover your airplane, your air flight, plus hotels, plus the medical fee. So why not, right? Now, why did I go for this package? Well, specifically the MRI and the MRA, because a lot of younger people do not get this test, especially in your early 30s. My mother has a disease called moya. It doesn't sound familiar, right? Yeah, I didn't know about it either, but it's apparently the veins in your brain are like spiderweb-like. They're really thin, unlike the normal people, which is a lot thicker and less veins. There's a higher chance of you to get a stroke because those veins will pop. And sadly, my mother did experience 2 strokes, one in her early 20s and also one in her late 40s. And sadly, the second stroke did come with some consequences. There was some after side effects where she's still slightly paralyzed to her left side. She still could move it and everything, but she does feel stiff there. And also she has some verbal problems where she can't talk as freely as normal people. It doesn't really affect her conversation or anything, but you just could notice that it's not normal. There was a saying that it can be genetic, but the chances are extremely low. And also, if you have it, you experience certain side effects when you're younger, which my mother did. She did tell me about it. However, I did not experience anything like that. But just to be safe, and because it was so cheap, I still got the test. And when the doctor saw my results, he was like, okay, your veins look totally fine, healthy. There's nothing there. So that's a good thing. And then endoscopy is pretty common in Korea. Definitely in America, your primary physician doesn't recommend it to younger people like us. They only really recommend it if they see a problem or you constantly complain about something that they're not able to figure out. But in Korea, it's pretty common. Even people in their early 20s get endoscopy when they can, or if they want to, because sadly, the number one, I believe, cancer in Korea is the stomach cancer. Korean people eat a lot of spicy food, and also they drink a lot. The endoscopy is pretty normal, starting your early mid 20s. Took it by sleeping, so that added $70 or $50 to my cost. I have to still get the results for that. They did say that they'll send an email to us with all the information on our results. And sadly, until this day, I still did not get my results back. Finally, the colonoscopy. Now, in the package, this test was included. However, I was not able to take this test because for colonoscopy, there are additional preparation that you have to do separately. You have to take certain drinks, and then you have to empty your entire your bowel tract. And I was not able to do that because I wasn't going to take the colonoscopy, but they told me that was included in the package. So I was like, okay, when can I do it? Can I do it today? And they said, no, I have to prepare. And sadly, we did have a tight schedule, so there wasn't another day I could go to the hospital to do the test itself. So I just decided not to take it. They do not take out the cost of the test from the package because they sell the procedure in a package. Just because you take one out, they're not going to reduce the cost, right? So sadly, I couldn't take that, but I mean, if you can, like, you should, right? Because the problems you have in your bowel or your bowel tract is really, really hard to identify. A lot of people think that it's a small problem that will go away because even if you have cancer, their symptoms don't really appear anytime soon until it actually becomes a huge problem. The chances of you having an issue there is really, really, really low unless you have like family has a history of it. But I do see a lot of people these days, well, at least on YouTube, about cases where younger people are getting it. So if you do see a problem there, you should get it tested just to be safe because you probably don't want to risk your health, right? After that, we did go to a wedding. It was probably one of the main reasons we went around this time frame. It was actually really good because the other time frame we were thinking about was around December, which is really expensive and also really, really, really cold. And also this date that we went on the wedding was the date when the Itaewon crisis happened. And for people that don't know what the Itaewon crisis is, it's the accident where 156 people died due to a stampede. I think we were really, really lucky because if we did not have the wedding on that date, I thought of asking my wife going there because actually this Halloween event is huge. A reason why there are so many people there. But because of the wedding, we decided not to go because we were actually pretty tired after it. Really, really tragic accident. But after that, we went to a place called kyungju. Hold up. So here I tried my best to explain my Kyungju trip in an entertaining way. However, I failed. The two reasons why I failed is because one, the quality of the video is extremely low. I am not a professional videographer, so the videos are all over the place. And second, I'm extremely bad in explaining stuff and it's not entertaining. So instead of that, here are just a few, extremely few short clips that show you guys where we went to. Please don't misunderstand this as Kyungju is not a beautiful place. It really is. It's just my skills were too low to capture all of that. Anyways, here it is. Hope you guys enjoy it. only stayed there for 3 days. No, 4 days, 3 nights and 4 days. But I do think you could tour most of the place in 3 days. We didn't have a car. If you guys do get a car, I think it is much easier to go around with. A lot of the major places are all close by. Obviously, the bus goes to all the tourist attractions, but a couple of them are pretty far from Hwangridangi where we stayed. There were a couple that we did have to cut off due to the fact that it was just too far. But again, most of those places were historic places, so we're like, okay, we saw all the pretty historic places. I don't know if I'll post another video after this because the third week wasn't much. It was more about shopping because that was one of the main purposes we went there. If I do decide to post up a third video, it'll be much shorter. Anyways, that was it guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.